What's up guys? We thought it'd be a fun little video series to take you behind the scenes and show you the life cycle of one of our most popular products, our Enclosed Binocular Pack. Not only do we make our products in the United States, but we make it in-house and we get the rolls brought in bulk, we cut it in-house and we take it next door and start sewing. So let's go through the life cycle of our Enclosed Binocular Pack. So everything that we do in-house when we cut in multiple layers. We either use our click presses over there or our Gerber machine, which is basically a CNC machine for fabric. CJ right now is pulling our durable 4-way stretch nylon for a roll of binocular packs, or a run of binocular packs. So we probably have about 20 layers right here that we're stacking really thick, and then they're gonna go over to the press and we're gonna stamp it out with our steel dies. All right, so once we pull the fabric in multiple layers, we take it over to one of the click press machines that we have, and we stack cut it with our steel dies. So every pattern piece that we use for all of our products, we get a steel die made of. They can either be serrated or a straight blade. And then they stamp the fabric basically like a big old cookie cutter. We do multiple layers and we just stamp boom, 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 boom until we go through all the different pattern pieces. With the Enclosed Binocular Pack, we actually have 19 different dies that we use, and we're going through 7 different types of fabrics and foams. So after CJ cuts it, we're gonna go put it inside one of our kits for our production team. So we have 50 of all the different types of fabric, and then we're gonna put them in these bins, or kits as we call them. We then bring them over to production and put them on the shelf with all different 50 kits. So all these boxes that you see on the shelf are different 50 kits of different products that our production team will take off the shelf and give to one of our sewing operators. Bessie now grabbed that 50 kit. Bessie is our production manager. She's the OG. She's been with me since day one. Used to sew them out of her house. And so now she runs the whole production floor, which is awesome. Bessie's taking this kit now and give it to Lupe, and then Bessie will take different components out of this pack and disperse it to other sewers. All right, the next step is we got to put the label on the front of the pack. It's the first step we have to do because we don't want to go through multiple layers of fabric. So Elena here right now is putting on the label. We found that we were doing so many of the same labels that we got a machine that's specifically designed just to put these labels on. All right, so now Bessie has taken over the side pockets, the rear spacer mesh over to Edwigis, who's going to prep them for the binocular pack for Lupe. She's going to put the side pockets together and put elastic across the top and elastic across the spacer mesh in the back. So the next step is that we're going to put the MOLLE webbing on the bottom of the pack. Gaga, who's been with us forever, is putting the reinforcement stitch on the bottom. So a bar tack machine is basically, there's anywhere from, I think, 50 to 80 stitches, zigzag back and forth on this webbing that's going to reinforce this webbing and make sure that it will never pull out. All right, so now Lupe has gotten those components back from the other team members, and she's going to start assembling the pack. So that's putting the front panel together, the floor together, and then the back, and then she's actually going to start putting those pieces together for the next step in the process. All right, so Lupe's constructed the entire front panel. Everything is sewn inside out, so it's going to get turned right side out, and then we're going to go over to Jenny to get the top stitch done on the perimeter of the front of the lid. And she's putting the stitching around the perimeter, and it takes it from kind of looking unstructured to having a nice detailed shape that is kind of what our pack is known for, and gives it that quality construction around the perimeter of the front of the lid. So now that the front lid has been top stitched around the perimeter, we have the back panel and we have the floor. We're going to put these together to basically make the construction of the pack before it gets fully assembled. All right, so at this point, Lupe has now put together the basic construction of the pack. We have the back panel, the sides, and the floor and the front of the pack. What happens though is we have excess material around the perimeter of the pack that we need to trim off. So we're taking it over now to our QC department, and Alex is going to trim up the perimeter of this pack to get it ready for binding, which is a trim material that goes around the pack. Our QC team is a massive part of the production team because the pack actually goes back and forth probably about 10 different times from QC to production to prep the pack for more sewing steps. So QC is a huge part, and as you can see, Alex is very fast at trimming these packs up and getting them ready for the next stage of sewing. All right, so after the QC team trims up the back of the pack, we're gonna take it over to binding, and they're gonna put our soft binding around the perimeter of it to hide the edge of where the fabric is sewn together. All right, the next step is we're gonna add structure to the pack, so we're gonna put stiff foam in the back of the pack to give the pack the structured back wall that it needs. All right, so after Edwigis has put that foam in there and stitched it in, we now have the foam secured inside the pack with the magnets. As you can see, there's some stuff that we have to trim off, so we got to go back to QC again before we add the final binding around the perimeter of the back of the pack. After the binding was put on by Luz, we're gonna take it over to Rosa, who closes almost all of our packs. So what she's gonna do is basically stitch the front panel to the bottom and the side to give it the final construction of being put together. It's a difficult process, but Rosa's a pro at it. So the construction of the pack is complete, it has its shape. Everything else is gonna be superficial and trim and making it look good. So we're gonna go back to QC again, they're gonna clean it up again before it goes back to binding and then over to being turned. All right, we gotta put the bar tack in this top piece of webbing. That's gonna reinforce this tab so you can pull it over and over again and not worry about it pulling out. So we're now gonna go over to our turning department. Pablo's gonna turn the pack right side out before it goes back to QC for the final QC inspection before we put it in inventory. All right, so now I'm gonna hand this pack to Nancy. She's gonna go through the pack and do the final QC before we count it and put it into inventory. All right, guys, so we just got that pack back from Nancy. Final QC inspection is done. We're gonna go put it in inventory, but we just wanted to kind of show you guys a little bit behind the scenes of what goes into every single step in making an enclosed binocular pack. As you guys can see, there's a ton of steps. We actually left some out just for the sake of the video to keep it kind of quicker. But we just want to show you how many hands are touching your pack, how many hands are inspecting it, checking it before it comes to you guys, and you guys are using it and using it in the field. So when we say made in America, it is actually sewn in our facility in Phoenix, Arizona. We offer a lifetime warranty with everything we make. It's gear that's going to last your lifetime. So check out our enclosed binocular pack at marsupialgear.com.